They cut the tent from the inside, not the zipper. A knife, multiple cuts from within, in the dark. When searchers found the camp, the tent was still standing, boots still inside, food untouched, ice axes, the stove. Everything they needed to survive a winter night in the northern Urals was still in that shelter. Everyone in it was gone. 9 people walked out into -30 degrees and kept moving downhill. The question is not just what killed them, it is what was in that tent that made staying feel worse. These were not beginners. Igor Dyatlov was 23 and had led expeditions before. The route was Category 3, the hardest class in the Soviet hiking system. His group had the training for this. That matters. On February 26, 1959, searchers found the tent on the slope of Kholat Syakhl. From it, they followed tracks leading downhill in a straight line, as if the group left together. At a cedar tree 1.5 kilometers away, they found Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko, both dead beside the remains of a fire. The cedar's branches were broken high above them. Someone had climbed that tree in the dark. 3 more bodies lay between the cedar and the tent. Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, Rustem Slobodin, each alone, each positioned as if trying to go back uphill. All 5 died of hypothermia. That explains how they died. It does not explain why they left. The last 4 were not found until May. They were buried under deep snow in a ravine further down the slope. This is where the case stops behaving like a simple exposure disaster. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol had severe skull trauma. Semyon Zolotaryov and Lyudmila Dubinina had multiple rib fractures, both sides of the chest. The pathologist compared the force to a high-speed vehicle collision, but there were no matching external wounds, no crushing damage on the surface, nothing on the skin equal to what had happened underneath it. Alexander Kolevatov showed less dramatic trauma, but he was in the same ravine with them. 3 clothing items also tested positive for elevated radioactivity. Now the case has split in 2. There is the cold, and there is everything the cold does not explain. The strongest official explanation is avalanche. Russia reopened the case in 2019. The state conclusion was that a slab avalanche forced the group to cut out of the tent and flee. In 2021, Swiss researchers modeled the slope and showed that a delayed slab was physically plausible. That matters. It means the official explanation is not nonsense. It can account for panic in the tent. It can account for internal injuries. It can account for why people would leave shelter fast. But it does not close the case cleanly. The first searchers did not report obvious avalanche debris on the slope. It requires accepting that experienced winter hikers pitched the tent in a place vulnerable to that exact event. It does not fully explain the cedar, the broken branches, the fire beneath it, or the way the bodies were spread out as if the group split into different survival attempts. Avalanche may explain the start. It does not comfortably explain the whole sequence. Other explanations survive because each one captures part of the pattern. Infrasound could explain sudden panic on the slope. Low-frequency vibration can produce dread and disorientation without a visible source. But it does not explain shattered ribs. Military testing theories remain persistent for a reason. Witnesses reported glowing orange spheres in the sky around the same period. Some documents were missing when the archive later opened. The lead investigator, Lev Ivanov, said certain findings had been classified. That theory can absorb the radiation, the secrecy, and the atmosphere around the case. But it is still a theory. No document, no photograph, no confirmed test record closes it. The deeper problem is that each explanation solves one layer and leaves another exposed. The original Soviet case closed in 1959 with a phrase that has haunted Dyatlov Pass ever since. a compelling natural force. That is not an answer. It is an administrative blank. What remains are physical facts, with no single story large enough to contain them. A tent cut from the inside, tracks leading downhill together, 5 dead on the slope, 4 more in the ravine, internal fractures without clear external damage, an investigation that ended before the evidence felt finished. Whatever the 9 saw, heard, or believed on that slope, they made the same decision in the same night. They decided the mountain was safer than staying in the tent. That decision is still the center of the case.